Wellness lifestyle expert Jeanniey Hess has over 20 years of experience in shaping the culture and media landscape. She is the host of Gratitudeology, a new podcast. She's also a fitness and wellness expert, entrepreneur, and so much more. Jeanniey, yay! I'm so glad to meet you in person. I'm so thrilled to have you on the show.
So glad to be here.
Now, I know a lot of people have heard your story through all of the initiatives that you do, but a lot of our viewers probably haven't heard your journey. So tell us about your journey. I know you've had to overcome so many challenges and obstacles, and look at how amazing you have made your life.
Oh, thank you, Jeannie. So I had a little bit of a dark beginning, which you wouldn't have expected, because prior to this twist and turn, which I'll tell you about in a minute, I had a nice upbringing. My mom is TV journalist Joan London. So she was kind of America's mom. She was like waving the flag and the apple pie and the whole thing and teaching American moms how to be working moms. But I just had this thing deep down in me that I think it's because I looked up to her and she was so great that I kind of felt like I could never live up to that. And I kind of just went the other way. So I had a really dark bout with drug addiction. But here's the thing. Through that, I learned life's greatest lesson. So I actually wouldn't change a thing. In getting sober, in getting a wellness acumen underneath me, I became a different person. And that has served me ever since. And now it's what I talk about on stages and on social media across the country.
I love that, because so many people could probably use your advice, and so many of us have lived through challenging times, and we deal with depression, we deal with anxiety, and we've all heard the data around anxiety being at an all-time high, especially in the workplace.
Yeah.
You've got this system that helps people change the game and just become their best self. Tell us about that.
So it's called Gratitudeology. It's essentially the study and practice of gratitude. But I was in the corporate world for almost 20 years, and I saw my colleagues dropping like flies from burnout. And it has not gotten any better. Let's be clear. In fact, before the pandemic, 20% of the workforce, before the pandemic, 20% of the workforce would have said that they had some sort of an anxiety situation. After the pandemic, it raised to 30%. But when you talk to our younger workforce, so people in their 20s and 30s, that number lifts to 42%. And 50% of millennials and 75% of Gen Zers say they've left a job due to anxiety. So it's real. 75%. Take that in for a minute, okay? So I believe that gratitude is the antidote for burnout, okay? Here's why. You can't be in two places in your mind at the same time. So we all have heard just have an attitude of gratitude, and it's really nice to say, just be grateful. That's not great advice. That's kind of toxic positivity. What I do through Gratitudeology is I give people an actual practice so they can bring it into their life and it becomes part of their being.
So you've made Gratitudeology your entire mission now, and you've got this new podcast specific to this concept. Tell us more about this.
The Gratitudeology podcast is my favorite project I've ever worked on. Sorry to all my other projects, but I'm so proud of it because what I've been doing is I've been crisscrossing the country, interviewing celebrities, thought leaders, 8-figure entrepreneurs about that moment where their switch flipped and they started seeing life through a lens of gratitude. Because any big person, we all know they have their why story. Usually something happened. It could be a near-death experience, an infertility journey. I made my first million. I lost my first million. What did you learn? And then how did that spur your success going forward? And what great stories to tell. And then what I'm doing with the show, every episode is really like immersive audio theater. So you're really inside their story because I love being told a good story. Yeah. And I think that's the best way to bring a message of inspiration to people in a way that's fun to listen to.
Absolutely. I love it. And next time you come back on the show, we should just have a discussion about working moms who inspired other working moms. Because my funny story, when my daughter was very little, I was on a plane ride from Boston to Dallas, and it was very bumpy. And I never hold on to the seat, but I was a new mom and I was kind of holding on to the seat. And this woman's talking to me as we're, going through this terrible choppiness. We land and she said, "Oh, thanks for telling me about your mom and how amazing she is and all the work that she did. She was a working mom. You have what's called Superwoman complex. And here's my card. I'm a therapist. You should call me." Oh. That was the last time I spoke to a single person on an airplane.
Wow.
But it really made me think about what my mom did and how I looked up to her, exactly like you and your mom, and how it changes children and how what we do as parents really create a new world. So I can't wait to have you back and talk about something like that.
Love it.
But in the meantime, everybody check out Gratitudeology. And Jeanniey, thanks for being on Liftoff. So great having you here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody, when we come back, we are going to shift the focus to more Valentine's Day. And later, Vince is going to come back on the set. I'm a little scared, but stay tuned.